Now let's talk about how we can play with layers. We can find that on the left-hand side by clicking on Artboard, and we'll see layers here. If you're familiar with graphic design, you might be familiar with layers, but just a quick refresher, you have the scroll button here where you can see all the different layers. As you click on them, you can see where the layer is in the image. And you can also select multiple layers by hitting Control and click, as I'm doing here. You can see I'm selecting multiple pieces of it, or you can go ahead and deselect it in the same way. One thing that we can do with layers is click on them and change the color here. As you can see, I can play with the color here and click Apply to change the color. And we can find the hex code for the color scheme here. In addition, if the layer is locked, then we cannot edit. So we can go ahead, unlock it here by clicking the unlock. We also have the show and hide layer to make it visible or invisible. And we can go ahead and edit the animation, which we'll cover in the next tutorial. On the right hand side here, we can see where this lines up dimension wise on the X and Y axis and on width and height. And we can also play with this and even move it with arrow keys. So if you have the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can go ahead, select this, and move it up, move it down. Here we can go ahead and play with this, even center it, bring it up, bring it down. As you can see here, I can play with this and then use the arrow key to get it exactly right where I want. So go ahead and utilize this board to move it left, right, up, down, and center. You can even rotate it here by clicking the rotation module and rotating it a little bit to the left or the right. Here's the text where we can go ahead and change the font, line height, the word spacing, and also the effects panel. In the effects panel, we have the ability with opacity to make it less opaque or more opaque, and add strokes for the color and the size, even contour, shadow, all the type of customization that you can do to make it look interesting or stand out. There's also blur, where you can blur the word, as you can see here. Finally, wooable, we can play with the smoothness of it, or you can play with the strength of it and change how it looks. So when it comes to layers, that's the main functionalities you can use to make and customize different aspects and elements on your board right here.